Oh, this is cool. This is cool. This is one of the photos of the start at Highpoint. And look at the 3 riders right here that are supposedly somewhat factory-backed but privateer-ish. This is the Muck-Off Club Yamaha guys. And all 3 bikes, Reynolds, Shock, and Finnis, are all ahead of all the star bikes. Very interesting. Whatever they're doing for their motors, just because those bikes are just fast as F. AF. Is that what the terminology? It's AF. Anyway, back to, I won't say it, but no, I will say it. I digress. So let's talk about Hymas. Watch him as he comes across this step up before the finish line and watch what he does with his feet. Lands, boom, boom, boom. And he's dragging the rear brake throughout the entire corner. Okay, so he's leading. He's beating Ty, who's on the Kawasaki behind him. But let's look at his feet. He starts leaning on that rear brake for a foot peg, and it's trail braking. And it helps slow him down, and that's just a riding style. But if I look at what Jett Lawrence does here in the next preview, here he is. Let me move this over so that we can see it. Boom. He bounced, and he cased the jump to slow him down just a bit. When he landed, he was on the brake and then instantly hopped off. And let's look at his foot peg. He moved his foot over. Did you see that? Here, let's show this again. Okay, just in slow-mo, it helps so much. Bounce, foot up, gets back on the back of that foot peg, and right there, you can see he's moving his feet outward, and then to sit down, and once he actually sits down, then he's going to start accelerating. Okay, brake, off, coast, 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 sits down, accelerates. Let's take a moment and pivot. And there's no pun intended here, but there completely is a pun intended because I believe it works. Watch what Deegan does as he's coming down the gnarliest section of the track. If you watched my track analysis video last week, I said that this is an incredibly soft part of the track. It gets super deep and incredibly one line. But let's pay attention to Hayden. He gets out of the rut and he just starts beelining it through all of them back to the inside. And it ends up being faster. That's difficult to do with the track being as deep as it was. Pretty much once you pick a rut, you're somewhat stuck in it. However, there's a few riders that were making pretty decent changes. And one of them was also the eventual winner. This rider, the number 1. Watch what he does here to get close to his brother. He's just taking different lines and he's jumping over these big deep ruts. Look at this. Corner. Main line is supposed to be here. Jett says, F that. I'm just going to cut over all of them and not go for a takeout to my brother because they're going to race each other clean. However, he's just creating a new line and he's just ironically staying on his toes. That's what makes Jett fast. And yeah, Jett is hurt right now and he's got to sit down a lot more, but he is still doing things that other riders are not doing. Ironically, I just said that Hayden was starting to pick up on that because he was also doing this type of riding. And this is somewhat of a mistake, but I wanted to put it in here anyway, this is a very one-line section, okay? Hunter just made a mistake, and Jett's going to make somewhat of a small mistake behind him, but it almost seems as on purpose. Because do you see what he did? He landed in a rut that was at an angle, and his bike is going completely straight. And he just wheelies over a few of those lines, creating his own line, as opposed to staying in those ruts. Impressive. Lands in there. It has him going straight down. He doesn't want to travel to this rut. So what is he doing? He's wheeling over. And this is a different scenario because as opposed to where Deegan was doing it, the track was a little bit softer so you could push through that stuff. Here, he had to wheelie over because they're concrete ruts at this off-camber section. This was a very difficult track and honestly a very scary track to race at speed. And one of the lines that I really liked was Deegan's across the start. And small little segue, if you're looking for more information, make sure you subscribe to Coach Robb Beams. He's got a podcast that he does 2 episodes every month. And the one I want to tell you guys about is navigating amateur motocross. There is no manual to what you should do and you shouldn't do. And that whole hour every month is dedicated to giving you solid information on just that, how to navigate amateur motocross. Go check it out. Link is in the description. This was the first corner. He just hauls ass on the outside and keeps his feet on the pegs and he's standing up. Doesn't take that leg off and he ends up just sitting down at the apex and then is going to accelerate. Saves energy that way, and that's partially what I believe we would have seen Jett Lawrence do more of if he wasn't injured, because he's said it time and time again where he's probably getting tired of making this excuse is like, hey, I have to sit down more because my shoulder hurts and my leg hurts. It's hard for me to withstand a 35-minute moto and, let my legs do the majority of the work. I've got to sit down. I got to try to give myself a break, and ultimately slows himself down. But hey, pay attention to this week in some of the videos. I appreciate every single one of you guys and everyone that joined the live show this morning. As always, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification icon. Till next time, keep it WFO. Bra-da-da-da-da.